Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Presented by Carolina Lightweights. Come grip with us. When the action begins in the studio, our referees for tonight's event are Gato, Azul, and Carolina Real Streamers. For the slime lovers in attendance and YouTube and Facebook users from around the world, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Live from the Gato Azul TV studio in Louisville, Texas, it's time! What's up, slime lovers? Welcome to the Slime Show. This is my partner in slime over here, Jamie Dunn, Carolina Lightweights.
What's up, everybody?
Oh, wait, this guy's missing in action. There's a big storm rolling through, so hopefully we'll get Dieter on here in a little bit. But, Jamie, why don't we give a little shout-out to our spot? First, let's give a shout-out to the guys that are in here.
Yeah.
We got Creole Catfishing. We got Danimals Creation. What's up, Dan? Big Wrench Catfishing. Fishing with Paula Smith. Welcome in, Paula. We got Jeff Martin, hometown boy. We got Billy Beaver, Carolina Lightweights teammate of ours. What's up, Billy? We got Jimmy Grunden, poor boy catfishing. He sent Action Jackson some decals today that are really cool. Appreciate that, Jimmy. Those are awesome, man. We got Dimitri Lockett, one of my slime brothers that came on the boat this winter. We won him $500 on the Mad Cat's Big Fish of the Week a couple days after he had his daughter. So welcome in, bro. We got Derek and Donna over at Operation Vets with Nets. What's up, Derek? I imagine that's you, bud. We got Catfish Fever and Outdoors. Welcome in. Facebook user. Cannot see who you are, but if you'll go into Gato Azul TV on YouTube and log in, we can see who you are. Or Carolina Lightweights on YouTube. So we got the chairman. Welcome in. Moving on down. Where are you at, Steve? We got Steve Burian. What's up, Steve? Welcome in, partner. So 28 people in here. Appreciate you guys stopping in. Jamie, you want to... I know Jamie's got some technical difficulties because there's a big storm rolling through South Carolina right now. So, Jamie, I'll let you kick us off.
Yeah, man, we're just sitting here, just out here making up some rigs. We're under, I think, our fourth tornado warning so far within the last now 45 minutes. So yeah, we're gonna have some probably lights in and out and a lot of wind and rain coming through. So, man, we're gonna try to hang in there as long as we can, brother. But yeah,
hopefully that Carolina Lightweights hut doesn't turn into the Wizard of Oz.
No, we got to turn and burn, man. We got to keep the customers happy, brother. That's for sure.
I know y'all are busy. You've had some bad run of luck lately with the truck, and I know Lily got in an accident coming to pick you up, broke her foot.
Yeah,
life
Rebecca
will kick you when you're down.
That's it, man. Yeah, Rebecca, she's inside in there trying to play catch up with hats, and Lily, she was on the way to pick me up, broke her foot, so we got that taken care of. She's booted in there now, so life is turning around, man. We got to get back to our customers, and we're back on track. So we rolling back, and it's good to have everybody here tonight. I see Miss Becca's in the house.
What's up, Becca? Welcome in. I saw a bunch of guys came in. So Becca come in. Cookies Outdoor. That's Alexander Doty. Welcome in, partner. Another Facebook user. Eagle Eyes. That's a new one. Welcome. Tyler Patterson. Welcome in. Matthew Kiker. What's up? What's up, buddy? Thanks for stopping in. Whisker Dreams, Big Johnson's Catfishing. welcome in everybody. And Operation Vets with Nets, one of our partners, and really exciting stuff going on over there. Operation Vets with Nets. They're trying to raise some money for another vet boat. They brought me on about 2 months ago. We started partnering with Carolina Lake Weights and just trying to help promote Operation Vets with Nets. If y'all want to go make a donation and help us get that boat, it's operationvetswithnets.org. You can go on there and make a charitable donation. It's a nonprofit. All of it's going towards the vets, the vet boats. There's not anybody on the payroll over there right now, so 100% of it goes back into Operation Vets with Nets. So go over there, check them out. It's a great cause, especially for us anglers. Everybody's got a soft spot in their heart for the vets, so I'm honored to be part of that. I know Jamie loves it too. So.
Oh yes, yeah. I see we got Micah up in the house. Yeah, he's super excited. He's talking about the new 8-ounce and 10-ounce we released this week. Man, if we keep them in stock, brother, I think we sold out within like 5 minutes the other night, Chris, on the first release. But
so guys that don't know, we dropped a new weight. We got an 8-ounce and a 10-ounce. Carolina Lake Weights just had so many guys asking me, "Hey, can you get Jamie to make us some 8s or 10s?" And so we did it. They're just not really available anywhere else, so we did it, and they've taken off like a rocket. So.
Yeah,
trying to give you guys what you want.
Yeah, Rebecca got out here, man. She hooked them things up. They drift, they anchor. I mean, just like our other ones, man. Weren't just the same. They've been tested, and then 5 minutes when I believe Rebecca dropped them on, sold out. I believe tomorrow she's gonna try to get out here and get some more build up, and as soon as this storm gets out of here and get some more back on the website. So she's working hard on that.
You guys, we also do a Junior Angler Kid of the Week award over at I say Mad Cats. I got Mad Cats on my brain. Over at Carolina Lake Weights. This week's Kid of the Week is Kayla Blackford. That's her PB, which I think that's awesome. That's a really cool picture. Love doing that for the kiddos. Give them a little shine. That is Brian Ladd's stepdaughter. So congratulations, Kayla. These kids have been showing up the adults lately, catching bigger fish than us.
That's for sure, man. They've been putting us to shame, and I'll tell you what, I love seeing it. So keep them pictures coming, and we're going to keep representing our junior anglers out there. That's for sure.
So guys that don't know, we're supposed to have Dieter Melhorn on tonight. There's storms rolling through South Carolina, so Jamie's having problems with connection. Dieter's having problems, but hopefully we can get him on soon. We do have some awesome guests lined up too, so we try to keep them coming strong. If Dieter can't make it tonight, we'll get him back on soon. But we got River Certified Spencer's coming on next week. We got Paula, the Queen of Catfishing, coming on September 13th, and then September 20th, me and Jamie are going to be talking planer board tactics, just trying to take your dragging game to the next level. So I think that's going to be a fun show.
That's for sure, man. I'm really looking forward to that one. We definitely getting ready to get back out there on the Santee Cooper, and we're going to get some videos here shortly, and can't wait, brother.
Yeah, our big fish season should start firing up soon, so we'll be back in full action soon. I can't wait, man. This summer Texas heat's brutal, but y'all probably heard me whine and complain about it enough. But this is the decal that Jimmy Grundon made and sent to my son. Action Jackson, Texas Tornado, put his new logo on there. Really appreciate that, Jimmy. Awesome, bro. I should have taken down the name of it, but I can't remember the name of y'all's company. But you can find Jimmy Grundon on Facebook, and he can make these decals. They are super high quality. He gives them to you for a really good price. So go check them out. The other thing is SmackDown Rod Holders has given us some well, I'm gonna say that's my code, but there's actually another code called I think it's Vets 10. Do you know the Operation Vets with Nets code, Jamie?
Let me see if I can find it, Chris. I just saw it.
Okay, because I'm gonna start promoting that Operation Vets with Nets code, and any sale that you buy a SmackDown rod holder, portion of that's going to go to Operation Vets with Nets, and I think that's really awesome. I've been trying to help Operation Vets with Nets get connected with a lot of my sponsors, just to try to help them out. So SmackDown's one of my big supporters, and I think it's awesome that they're willing to do what they're doing for Operation Vets with Nets. So these are the rod holders. These are the bank rod holders that they've given us. We're going to give them away on the show soon. Not sure exactly how we're going to do it, but these are really super high quality, sturdier than any other catfishing bank rod holder I've seen. It's really just a different level of quality. They do have the plastic dip. I know they brought Jamie on to the team. They got me on the team, got a bunch of my buddies on the team. They're huge supporters, great rod holders.
Yes.
Jamie, I know you're new to it, so tell us about your experience.
Well, I tell you, man, Dave, I don't know if y'all seen the pictures, man. Dave hooked my boat up, man. I mean, I believe now we're up to 24 rod holders up on that boat, man, and we love it. Them things are looking good. We're going to put them to the test. First tournament is Saturday night. So we got the net holder, and we've got all the brand new hook up on the side with all the new rod holders. But SmackDown, if you don't have them, get them. But especially the bases, man. I mean, they work on the slides. So if you got the slides on your boat, whatever it is, they've got the mounts and everything.
Yeah, and hey, 10% of that. So Becca said it's Vets 10. If you go over to SmackDown and you put in your discount code for Vets 10, that 10% goes directly to Operation Vets with Nets to help them. They run off donations, 100% donations. Right now, we're trying to raise money for the vet boat, so it's going. A lot of that's going to go towards the vet boat. They're also going to host a tournament soon. We're really blowing up the last 2 months. It's just been crazy, the amount of support we're getting. So, all right, here's Dieter.
Hang on a second. Hang on.
You're in, bro.
I hear you on the computer. Let me get over to my airplane. All right, now I hear you.
Welcome in, partner. How's it? Yeah, you looking good, bud. It's you got a lot clearer picture than Jamie in this storm action.
Well, I got a feeling all of that rain and something had something to do with the internet connection. But anyway, how y'all doing? You hear me okay? Yeah. Everything good?
We got you, brother.
We can hear you good.
Awesome,
we were just going over some of our sponsors. We were talking a little bit about Operation Vets with Nets. Trying to give them a little shine, help bring a little spotlight to what they're doing. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but maybe we can get you on board too, Dieter. It's a great cause.
I've been wanting to work with some of those programs. It's always like some type of scheduling issue on when something's going on. But there's some good ones. There's a lot of good stuff out there. I think it can get even better, and I think I'd love to tell some of the stories of some of the guys and gals that are involved in it, because I think I even said this in a podcast that I did about Oliver Anthony, or Anthony Oliver. It's Oliver Anthony. I always say his name backwards. a lot of times it just gets glazed over with these programs. It's like, oh, it's for vets. They got PTSD, blah, blah, blah. And nobody really hears the story and understands what the heck's going on. And I think that would help a lot with connecting people to these people and these programs and just get a lot of more attention to it.
Yeah, I know there's been a huge outpouring from a lot of big time anglers that are wanting to take the vets out. Now we just got to figure out a revenue stream that's going to help support it, and then also try to get as many vets as we can on the water. So, yeah, that's what we're trying to do right now.
And I think we're telling some of these stories. I mean, honestly, yeah, I'm on YouTube, and I think YouTube's a great tool, but the people with the revenue streams, especially the non-endemic sponsors who would be willing to put money up to make some of this stuff happen, they do want exposure for their brand. And as much as we just want somebody to be just donating money and throwing it out there, most of them have not necessarily a return on investment, but at least see some exposure, brand recognition, that kind of thing.
I think it's important for it to work for both sides. No doubt.
Yep. And not everyone of these guys wants to talk about what they've been through. I understand that, but there are some that do. Trust me, I've had conversations with some guys that have been through some stuff, and for a lot of them, it's therapeutic to talk about it and get it out there. And for other ones to hear it from somebody that's been through it, it can be a healing for somebody that's just hearing it and not really there. So anyway. Man, we got deep really quick. We got into deep, heartfelt, serious stuff right off the bat.
Well, I tell you, man, that's what we are here, Dieter. We get right into it, man. Our people, they love it. I mean, we got some amazing people out there, man, and we always jump right into it, brother. We really do. And first of all, man, I've got to say, welcome to the team, and it was an honor talking with you in Tennessee, brother, and I appreciate you, man. We had a good time.
Yeah, thanks for putting up with me, man. I'm glad it worked out that I got to come by there and see everybody and see what was going on and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, sounds like y'all got some good stuff going. I think it's good to have some blood that has some energy to do all this stuff and get it all out there. And that's cool. There's a bunch of people in chat. Yeah, you got Becca in here. You got Paula Smith. Yeah, there's all kinds of people showing up in there.
We've got a bunch of good guys that support us, and we're really a family. You're going to find out we're a little different than a lot of other things that you might be associated with. We got a lot of guys that support us, but we also support a lot of guys. So like you said, it's a two-way street. I always tell all the guys that come on here, I don't know exactly what we're going to be able to do for you other than it's going to be a family thing. All our guys will be supporting you, and then we can hook you up with all of our other teams that we, partner with, and it's a synergistic effect when you come on with Carolina Lake Weights. So.
Ooh, oh my God, synergistic! How many syllables are in that word? Oh, boy, dang! Wow, some of y'all. Paula's over there. She's got the phone out. She's Googling. She's probably spelling synergistic the wrong way. Yeah. Paula, go ask Ken how to spell that. Ken will tell you how to spell that big word. Oh, she's going to hit me the next time she sees me. Oh, that's terrible.
So, Dieter, the show, we don't really keep much of a format. We like to just keep it free and loose. It's just like good old boys having a conversation about what we like to think is high-level catfishing. Sometimes it's not so high level, but
mine's not really high level. It's just catfishing.
But a lot of guys want to know kind of how to take it a little bit further than what's just shared on most places. But that's what we try to do. We try to help people. First of all, we try to inform people. So I thought you'd be a great guest to come on, especially since you're our new teammate. You got a lot of insight into all this that a lot of people might not get to experience. So
my angle's probably different too, because I not that I don't fish tournaments, but I don't fish tournaments. So I keep saying I want to fish some, but it just doesn't work out schedule wise. So my approach to fishing is probably different than a lot of people. You know, a lot of guys are tournament oriented and focused, or trophy fish oriented, and I love all that stuff, but it's not like a super big focus. So yeah, a lot of stuff. I mean, let's face it, you've seen me fishing with chicken. A lot of stuff is, you know, geared toward people that may be just getting into the sport and trying to learn how to just catch a fish, fishing off the bank, and they can't throw a cast net. They ain't got a place to throw a cast net. There ain't no place to buy shad or skipjack or any of that stuff. So a lot of stuff I create is for, you know, people in that world. And that's honestly the people I take on guide trips too. I mean, obviously ain't no tournament fishing hired me to go on a guide trip.
Most
but
tournament guys don't need a guide. I mean,
exactly. And
so
you know, that's a very small percentage. Those the guys that fish tournaments are probably, we ran the numbers one time, and I ran this by a bunch of people in the tournament world. You're probably looking at about 4,000 people nationwide. And in the whole scheme of things, that's not a lot of people. That's not an audience to build a brand around. It's not an audience to build a YouTube channel around. You know, so the bigger people out there, the bigger group, are the guy that's going down here and parking on the side of the road and going underneath the bridge to go fishing because that's the only place he's got access to water to fish. So those are the people that are looking for information. There's
999 of those guys for every guy that's doing it often, and most guys want to. Most people do want to learn. You know, I you know, guys like you have helped countless people learn how to catfish. So I know that's a big feather in your cap. When I did a survey of who do you guys want us to bring onto the show, I will try to get anybody. You just name it. Your name popped up quite a bit.
I was gonna say, what happened? Steve Douglas, Catfish.
No, it was all you. It was.
We're all
too
busy, so
we had no. We had a ton of you. We had a ton of Spencer Bauer, and then we had, you know, some just a lot of some tournament guys. But I would say that your name and probably Spencer's were the two. Because you know, a lot of YouTube to learn. And so you're one of the guys. You know, you've been doing it probably as long as just about anybody.
So, it's a great learning platform, and you know, some people give you crap. You know, it's like, you can put too much information out there, make them work harder, make them learn. But my take on it is, you know, if you make these people appreciate the sport, teach them how to catch a good fish, and they'll realize that, oh my God, I caught one, I can catch another one. You catch two or three, and that's like all of a sudden you go from, I want to catch one, throw it in the back of the truck and drive it around the neighborhood and show all my friends, to going, oh, whoa, I want to do this again and again and again. And all of a sudden you become, you know, trying to conserve the resource versus killing and dragging around. There's nothing wrong with killing fish and eating them. I have no problem with that. Some places we probably need to kill more than we actually do. But you know, there's a time and a place for it, and it's all about balance. And I think the more you can educate people on that, the better off we all are.
I agree. I see a lot of the newer guys coming in wanting to try to do it the right way, understanding that there is a balance. You can have both. You can catch plenty of eaters, but you can also have the trophy fish. You can have both.
Absolutely.
But there are so many new guys coming in. It is going to take a concerted effort for it to work for all of us.
Yep. I actually had, there's a great podcast out of the Wildlife Commission in North Carolina, two bald biologists, as in bald with no hair, two great guys. And I was on their podcast. They came fishing with me, and we were talking about our chain of lakes here through the Carolinas, on the Catawba and also on the Yadkin. I was like, hey, what's up? You know, what do you think about blah, 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 blah? And they were both like, y'all don't need to touch a thing. If anything, you know, you may need to harvest some fish. You've got a great fishery, a lot of fish, a lot of medium-sized fish. You got some bigger fish. He said, y'all really don't need to do a thing. And there's some places like that. Some places you kind of just need to leave it the heck alone. Other places, there are places I'm sure that are getting raped by commercial fishing and that kind of thing. And the whole pay lake thing's a whole different world. That's a whole nother podcast that we can tie up a couple of hours with. But it's finding that balance in wherever the heck you're at, and it really does vary from one fishery to another.
You're right. And Dieter, a lot of people, man, that I've talked to, they've watched your shows for learning purposes and stuff. I watched the show you done a while back on line testing. I found it very educational. I mean, how you were testing each brand and stuff. Everybody out in the audience and stuff, I've talked to behind the scenes and stuff, and you've done a lot of educational shows and stuff. So I've watched a lot of your shows. I mean, what drives you to where you come up with these ideas? What drives you to come up with those?
It's funny you describe it that way, because I don't know if you guys watch fishing and stuff. Keith, he's got a DIY fishing channel, does rod holders, anything with PVC that involves fishing. Keith and I are good friends. We only live a few miles apart here. And we were talking about that the other day, about the personalities in the YouTube channels. You got Richard Jean, the fishing machine. He's just phenomenal channel, phenomenal growth. He's like your drunk uncle, even though he doesn't drink. He's just can go out and catch fish with anything, and he's got a personality and a style. Keith, with fishing and stuff, he sounds goofy and stupid, but the man's a genius when you actually get to know him. But that style and personality works. And he says about me, he said, you're kind of like the professor of when it comes to stuff. It's very analytical and matter of fact. And I say all that to say, I never really thought of it that way. But yeah, a lot of the stuff I do is a little more educational, because I do believe that when you educate people, you empower them. And I think most people will make the right decision. Sure, there are commercial people that will watch and look at where I'm fishing, and they will go put baskets and stuff in that area. I realize that happens. But I think most people are out there I think they're pretty smart, and I think they're trying to do the right thing. So that's kind of why I do what I do and approach it from the angle that I approach it from. And the other thing is, I probably suck at doing it any other way. So this is what works for me. So I'll stick with that.
Well, I tell you, man, you do a great job at it, brother. Because I mean, I've watched
Thanks. Thank you.
I've watched you fish quite a bit, man. And I mean, I've seen you fish around rocks, and how you just kind of look for all of your different areas that you look for. And I tell you, man, I give you props on. I mean, how you explain it.
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. Like I said, I love to catch big fish, but I want to catch fish too, and I think that's why it works for me being a fishing guide. Is that we fish areas and we do things that will lead to big fish, but I also want to catch fish. I'm not willing to go out there and fish it like a 2-fish tournament and try to get 2 bites all day. That's not in. I've had guide trip clients that want to do that, and that's fine. We'll do that. But I want to catch some fish. Don't necessarily. Now, granted, I start catching a bunch of 2-3 pound channel cats. All right, we caught them. My wheels are turning on. We got to get away from this and go somewhere and try to get something bigger. But I do want to catch fish, and I think that's the way a lot of people are. They want to catch some fish and bend some rods. And I try to incorporate both. There's strategies and times of the year that we put bigger fish in the boat. And, now is not exactly the time, especially after today's trip. I don't know, but we also get spoiled. We get a little bit spoiled because we're on the water so much. And I know that's into a totally different direction, but I will, and I have to be careful of that on guide trips and also in the videos, because you watch the videos and it's somewhat of a highlight reel that's pressed into 8 minutes, and everybody's like, oh, good God, we're just going to go out and catch and boom. And, that may be a 6-8 hour trip that it takes to put all that together. Generally mine are done in one day, not multiple. I don't do a multiple day thing, but it's something I love to do. I love to try to educate people, because again, I think they're better stewards of the resource when you do that.
And it's not all catfish all the time. I've seen you, actually do for crappie also. I believe you've done the video pulling, smaller planer boards trolling for
Yep.
crappie also. And I found that I've really enjoyed that show. So I mean,
I wish I could put. The thing is with YouTube and the way algorithms work and the way it works when you have viral videos, they start to pigeonhole you into a niche. And I can look at the analytics and you look at the videos that work and it's catfish oriented. And but I'd love to do more. I love doing crappie fishing, crappie, depending on what part of the country you're from. We're talking about the same fish. Striper fishing, I love that. I love saltwater. I do.
Yeah.
I put one out last month, I think, a few weeks ago, catching some giant redfish. I mean, world class redfish. Big 32, 34, 36 inch redfish. Okay. That video may have 1,600 views. Nobody watches it because the algorithm serves it to people that are into catfishing. They may be in the middle of the country. Saltwater fishing means nothing to them.
Yeah.
And they serve it to those people and it doesn't get any traction. And, I sit there and look at that. I'm sitting there, we were out on the boat. I was like, man, I want to get back and go back and catch some more of this big redfish. It sucks. People don't watch it, but
That's the algorithm working against you, because you can go
Exactly.
see a guy who fishes for redfish all the time, and he's got 4.5 million subscribers, and I'm like, I never even heard of this guy, but he's got 4.5 million subscribers. I do think there are a lot of people that watch saltwater, but like you said, that algorithm.
I'm not the guy. I mean, I've got a catfish over my shoulder, not a big red over there. So, but I do like fishing for other stuff. And honestly, in 2024, that's kind of going to be a direction we're going to gamble on, is doing a little diversifying in some of that. And I've kind of got a screw it, I don't care kind of attitude about I'm going to create some content that I want to create and tell some stories I want to tell. And if they stick, they stick. If not, I'm okay with that. Because I've honestly got a bunch of people that want to book shark trips, and I'm like, dude, I don't live at the coast. I live halfway close, but when I'm down there, I'll do them. But yeah, there's people who want to do that. I got people wanting to go catch redfish now after that one video. So there's people out there that are interested in it, but I've got a lot of stuff to juggle too with everything else going on. So I'm blessed to do what I do, happy where I'm at, but I'm going to push the envelope a little bit.
How many days a week do you get to fish now? I know you guide, so
well,
this time of year, does it slow down because it's just not as good of fishing, or people just want to go?
Here's my real background story. Okay. I've got 3 part-time jobs. I've got YouTube, I've got the guide business, and then I've got the video production work that I do. And back during COVID, world was, I said jokingly back then, I said, if we all live through COVID, there's going to be a bunch of stuff we're going to miss about this. And the thing back then was the TV world went away. There was no production work at all. YouTube blew up, and I was doing guide trips, as many as I could do. Now, the whole production world's come back. So now it's to the point where it's just stupid crazy. I don't have time to do everything. I could guide 5 days a week, pretty much. Outside of around Christmas and January, it would slow down really bad in there, but really late
That's
February.
our hot time of year. So, I mean, I could guide 5 days a week, but my hands would fall off my body.
Yeah. And listen, guiding's not, freshwater is easier than saltwater, I think, as being a guide, but still, it is a grind. And honestly, it suits my personality that I got all this stuff going on. So it kind of keeps,
get to do a variety of things. You're not just fishing all the time, which I've done that. It'll rob you of the joy of fishing if you go all the time. It's just work.
People, ask that. They're like, well, do you still like guiding or anything you do? I said, the worst part about guiding is when you're like sick and you still go.
Yeah.
Because you've got clients that are in from out of town or whatever, that sucks when you're like, I don't feel good, but you're still going, you still got to do the job. It kind of sucks in. I still like guiding though. I still enjoy it.
It's fun doing things for people that they can't do for themselves and putting them on fish they could have never got.
And that's the thing with most of the people that come with me. Again, they're not tournament fishermen or they're not trophy hunters. a lot of these people, I told this story last night on a podcast. I had taken this guy out and we were into the smaller fish. We were catching 4, 5, 6 pound fish on this drift that we were doing. I was like, okay, we're in some of these. We got some numbers. And I'm just getting them up. Oh, yeah, it's a nice fish. We're going to get a big one. Boom. And I'm just flipping them off, like throwing them back in the water. And we caught one about 7, 8 pounds. And the guy grabbed me and said, hey, do you mind if I take a picture with that fish? That's the biggest fish I've ever caught in my life. And I felt like an asshole because the rest of them I'm just like throwing away wholesale. And I say all that to say your perspective gets skewed when, one, you get to fish a lot, 2, you're a guide, 3, you're in a place that has good fish. And around here, we have good fish. They may not be world record fish, but man, we get so many people from out of state that come in that they just don't have a shot at catching a 12, 14, 15 pound fish. And we've got those fish and we got bigger, but it's a good place to be. It's a good place to live. It's not in the middle of nowhere. And, it's good. I have no complaints. I'm blessed to do what I do, bottom line.
It's cool when people want to learn from you. They come for learning. I do think a lot of people that go with a guide want to learn more than they want to catch fish.
Yeah.
So, some guides are they don't want to show all the secrets. They hide while they're doing stuff. And, I don't get that. As long as you teach the people to turn the big ones loose, why should you care?
And that's the thing that, I got on if you go to my website and you go to the guide section, it says, we release fish over 10 pounds, because I really thought, based on the guides that I know, a big majority of your people want to fill a cooler. They base their success on filling that cooler and how many bags of fillets they're able to put in the freezer. And honestly, out of 100, 110 trips a year, I may have 7, 8, 9 that actually keep fish. And
I think that's great, man, because I know a lot of my guide, but I'm friends with a ton of guides, and a lot of people just want to fill the freezer. And I tell a lot of these guys, you probably need to educate people on, responsible harvest as well, because a lot of people that fill the freezer with that one trip, at the end of the year, when they're cleaning out their freezer, they're like, oh, honey, we forgot to eat all this catfish. What do you want to do with them? Well, hell, they're freezer burned. Just throw them out. And it's like, what's the point of that?
It happens a lot. It happens a lot. And I'm lucky that I got people, even the ones that keep fish, most of them are keeping enough for a meal. I'm really trying to think in the past year if I had anybody that was trying to stockpile them. Most of them are like, they put 4 or 5 fish in the cooler, like, boom, we got enough to cook. We're good to go. So I've got good clients. And part of that is a lot of the people, I think it's 94, 96% of them book me because they know me through my YouTube channel and they see what I do on the YouTube channel. They see, see me all the time, back alive. Somebody said I need to do t-shirts that say back alive. That's usually what I'm trying to check it in. And I think they respect that. And, maybe some of them have, moved over to that side of the fence and believe in that. And again, nothing wrong with keeping fish, nothing wrong with eating fish. It's just, you got to rein yourself in, because we as sportsmen, we've really got a bad history of screwing things up when it comes to, you look at the whitetail population in this country, what happened in the early 1900s. It was virtually, elk on the East Coast, elk used to be on the East Coast. We had to replenish them because they killed everything coming and going. And, we're not real good at doing what we're supposed to on our own. And, that's why regulations get put into place and that kind of thing. But I think we're getting better at it. And I think education is the key to all of it.
I think regulations help, but, really it's up to the sportsman to take it to the next level. We have a ton of regulations, but it doesn't take but a handful of guys that go against all that to really mess something up. And I know there's some guys that fish some of our best fisheries, and just a few guys can really damage a good fishery. 3, 4 guys in 1 year, 1, 2 years can really put a whooping on something. But I do believe most of the new guys really want to try to, be stewards of what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Take care of the fish. I do see a major shift in the paradigm. The guys forever had said, "Oh, it'll never happen," but I see it happening finally.
Yeah. We're getting again. It's the double-edged sword of the internet. There's a lot of bad, but there's also a lot of good. And
I know you probably see it a lot.
yeah,
Some guys
getting
just
out
like
to people.
to upset people.
Yeah.
I know you're an admin on at Catfish America, so
Oh yeah.
I see a lot of it. I don't know why it's so rampant over there, but it seems
Well,
like
when you get
certain guys just try to make.
Yeah, I mean they've got. I mean they're up to what 67,000 people. It's
Yeah.
like my YouTube channel. When you get that many people, you're outside of the circle of friends and family that and your buddies that are on
Right.
there.
It's
You've got
way
every
beyond just like-minded anglers.
you've got every Yahoo in the world, and then sometimes you just happen to cross the path. Somebody has no interest in what you're doing, no interest in the content you create, and they're just angry and unhappy and just
They just like to make people upset. You can see
they
it.
want people as equally miserable as they are, and I want people as equally happy about what I do and living as I am. So let the negatives do all the stuff they're going to do.
Well,
I'll combat it with the opposite.
Well, that brings me into. I see Creole here says Dieter's camera and filming device is also top notch. So
Thank you.
So
Thank
he's
you.
learned a lot from that, and a lot of people has also. So it looks like you've got a lot going on that side, and a lot of people's taking a lot from that also, my friend.
Yeah, and that's cool. That's the thing I'm waiting for. I was talking with Steve Douglas about this last night. We taped a podcast, and I'm waiting. I mean, I've said I want to make the best catfishing videos there are. Okay, I try to do that as far as just the quality, as far as production quality. I'm waiting for the person that steps up, that becomes the on stage guy, the guy that is animated, the guy that is a character that has a lot of energy and a lot of because I'm kind of like blah blah blah. I'm like Keith said, I'm kind of the scientist guy. Not all that exciting. I'm waiting for the guy that is the Gerald Swindle of the catfish world that comes in, that has some energy, can excite people. Fish Fishburne, who used to host the bass weigh-ins and stuff, very animated, just a lot of energy. Somebody's going to do that in the catfish world, and they are going to blow up. And I'm waiting to see who that is.
Well, I tell you, if we can find the G-man of it, you would be hit it right on the head, because there's nobody like Gerald Swindell. He is.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and there's it's easy to go the negative route and be the negative person, because being negative is easy. I mean that's an easy route. When you're like him, and hey, he talks about controversial stuff, but he's also a very positive, sponsor friendly kind of person, and we're going to find somebody like that, and somebody's going to just surface out of nowhere, and that'll be cool, because I think they'll be emceeing tournaments, catfish conference. They're going to be the person that brands are going to want to have out there as a spokesperson, and saying stuff and leading the group. So we'll see it. It'll happen eventually.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think the catfish community's it's like separated into different types of groups. You got the tournament guys, you got the social media guys, you got the fun fishermen, you got the guys just starting out. It's not really, they somewhat overlap a little bit, and that's one thing at Carolina Lake Weights. I told Jamie, when we do this, we're gonna mix our guys up. I want to have guys that are like, I fish with my son a lot. I like father and son stuff. We got tournament pros. We got social media guy like you. We got, guides. I think bringing all those types together, it just makes for a better mix. Not so many egos in one room.
It's hard with fishermen. Fishermen are loaded. We've got all got egos. I mean, there's very few of them that don't have a picture of something they caught that's been disseminated on Facebook and Instagram and everywhere else. But yeah, it's the egos that are kept in check is what you're looking for. So yeah.
Well, I tell you, if you watch our videos, I mean, myself and Rebecca, I mean, we're especially Rebecca, man. She keeps it real. I mean, she's live. I mean, she's lively. I'm normally the quiet one of the bunch, and she's lively one. So she runs. I love it.
Yeah. There's so many good people out there, and it's sad that especially some of the ones that are in the social media circles that don't get the attention of the algorithm, and and stuff gets out about them. But that is what it is. That's the modern electronic digital world that we're all in.
That's it. But what drives? I mean, I watch your shows there, and getting back to your cameras and stuff. I mean, man, you got so much going on. How do you keep up with all of it? I mean, how do you plan all your shows?
There's 2 GoPros that had today's footage in them from what we shot out on the boat. Somebody's today. What's this, Derek and Donna? Simmer down. Yeah, that's I don't know how that's another one I could do a t-shirt on. That's one of those things that accidentally, it's funny how it works in like YouTube and stuff like that. You'll say something that's kind of accidental and it becomes like a catchphrase for something. But yeah, back to the, I shoot the majority of the fishing stuff on just simple little GoPros. Now, what you can't see is right back over there is an actual real broadcast camera that I use. I've got a bunch of different stuff that I use. I get to cheat a little bit because I got this stuff that I make, money with outside of this world. Nobody needs to do that. You can have a good channel with nothing but an iPhone. Honestly, you can shoot good stuff with one of these.
And they're easy to deal with. Much easier than an iPhone.
You'll be amazed how many of my thumbnails and B-roll shots that it's like, oh, I need 3 seconds of this. I'll do this. All the not pictures that I have, I've got cameras that have macro lenses and extension tubes that will let you do macro photography. It looks really good. It's a lot of it's very tedious stuff. This stupid thing with that close up, how close you can get and knock stuff in focus, it's crazy. So, but anyway, there is a process to it. It takes some time because usually I'm stringing together 3 different cameras when I edit stuff. So that was all stuff I did not know from the TV world. All we did was provide cameras, lighting, that kind of stuff. The editing, I have figured all that out over the past 5 years. And my editing it's good. It's not great. It's not, network level stuff, but it's enough to illustrate, what I'm trying to do. There's a bunch of.
What editing program do you use?
I use Final Cut. Final Cut Pro. I was started out using just iMovie on a Mac, and
that was like more simple and easy. But what you're doing now is more professional grade.
Yeah, it enables you to do some little things as far as putting in, looks and treatments. There was some stuff I had, the podcast that I take with this lithium battery company. There was it was somebody else. It was them too, but yeah, the stuff we shot had some echo noise in the room, and you're able to go in and take care of a lot of that, so it's not as annoying and stuff.
Wind noise?
Dude, let me show you I showed somebody this in a podcast yesterday. I've got my bag here. I'll show you how I deal with wind noise. You're going to laugh. I actually got my GoPro bag here. I explained this to a guy yesterday. It is the simplest fix. And that's the thing with anybody that's going to do YouTube. If you're going out into the water, you've got to have good audio. Because when I'm over here talking, this really sucks and you can't hear me that good.
Yeah.
But when I get back over here, you stay focused on what's going on. So They make fancy wind screens and stuff you can buy and all that. I take old socks, okay, and they've got the raised material like a windscreen. And because they have the elastic in the top of them, you can put them around these GoPro camera. Let me close the battery door on it. And it gives you, because most modern GoPros have 3 different microphone ports on them, and the camera will pick which one has the best audio. You can put one of these socks around this thing, and it will cover up all the battery or the audio mic inputs. And you basically got a windscreen on here that really cuts down on your wind noise.
Okay.
And it's the most important thing in doing YouTube videos is audio. Audio is more important than video. You can have an okay shot, but if you can't hear what somebody's saying.
So I live stream a lot. So our trophy season, I live stream our big fish. I mean, and that's what a lot of guys are interested in what I do, because we hammer big fish. And man, a lot of the times we got big wind and they're like, man, it's windy, but I just can't stop watching. But I just wish I could figure out how to solve that, because I live stream from either my iPad or from my phone.
Yeah, it is so hard because, I could say put on a wireless mic, but the problem with the wireless mic is you've got to get it back into the camera to the iPad, and that's a whole
and
dongle.
That takes, so then you got to deal with dongles, and if you can't just do it, stick it in the port, because you got to charge that dang thing because it's sucking power.
And you need to be able to monitor it. That's the other thing. You got to be able to listen to make sure it's working, because if you get a dongle that's not seated upright, you may not be getting audio. Or even just coming into, this video, you have to make sure that, everything is funneled the right way. So yeah, there's a lot of levels of stuff that can go wrong when you're doing it.
There is a space there that is open for somebody to make a killing if they can get this thing figured out, because there's a lot of people that do what we're doing.
And I don't know why you cannot. I still to this day have not been able to figure out why I can't Bluetooth or live stream from a GoPro camera, or at least get the video to my camera to where I can live stream it, because it seems like that would be something some people would want to do, but I don't know. I'm not sure what the whole impasse is on any of that.
Yeah, that would definitely be a game changer if you could definitely do that.
Yep. Very much so.
And just like summertime fishing, I mean, your equipment, you've got it out there. I mean, how do you keep it nice and cool? Because, like myself, I'm constantly just using my cell phone. What's your take on how you keeping everything for everybody out there?
Yeah.
How you keeping all your stuff nice and cool?
Yeah, if you run GoPros continuously in the sun, they will, most of them, overheat at some point. So I don't run mine continuously. I know people wish I did. Everybody wants to see the takedown shot and all that. What I do is I have them set up on Jackrabbit Start. So all you do is hit the button, boom, it starts rolling. Some people will do a loop, but again, that's
what about the hindsight feature? Do you ever use that?
Well, the thing is, the camera has to be basically on and running, which is going to cause, and it's caused heating issues because it's processing stuff.
Okay.
So I just go with the, starting it whenever something happens, and I could cheat and go back and fake takedown shots, but
the biggest problem with that is with all that is the damn thing goes dead right when the best stuff happens.
It can happen. I got a whole pile of batteries that I keep in my bag there. That's actually what I'm sitting here doing right now, is charging batteries from today's trip, and I actually just put one in there and cleared it out. So yeah, it's.
So, do you have a backup camera for your backup camera for your backup camera? So when one of them dies right in the middle of your best action, can you just go grab another one, or you got to be like, oh, I got to get a battery out? And
I end up swapping batteries. I end up putting a rod in a rod holder and going and getting a battery. Yeah, it's easier to do that because I got so many batteries and they're right there on the seat. So it's easier just to grab a battery, throw it in.
Grab one real quick, throw it in there.
Yeah, but I try to keep an eye on them. I try to keep an eye on the battery level just to see where they're at.
I've noticed you can't now. I've seen videos that say you can take the battery out and run continuous power. That doesn't work for my GoPro 12. It goes
Yeah,
blip, 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 low power, done.
yeah, yeah. I haven't messed with the continuous power thing on
Done.
them just because of
Done.
all the cords
Done.
and cables and all that stuff. So yeah,
GoPro, if you're watching, we need continuous power.
yeah. Some super duper high amp hour batteries would be kind of cool too. So,
Something
but
that you could just run all day. I mean, can we get that? I'll even take a pack on the bottom of that thing that's
like a big old
large.
giant thing to success. You know, it's funny. These are all first world problems. We're really lucky that we live in a time to where we can actually get 4K video out of something that big, and
Yeah, it is.
we're able to disseminate it to the entire planet a little
Yep.
while later. It's crazy that we're
Almost,
able to
really,
do.
almost instantly. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. It's unreal. I mean, you can do it with the the live stream and stuff. I wish I did more of that. It's I know. I think I was probably one of the first people to do it catfishing when I started the channel. I couldn't wait until I could, because I think then you had to have 1,000 subscribers before
yeah.
you could live stream. And I thought it was, I was like, oh God, this is going to blow up and it's going to go great. It didn't. It worked. But, it's amazing now to look at it, how many people are actually doing it. Chunky Cats, with what he does on TikTok and everything up there, actually making a living doing it. So yeah, it's amazing how far it's come.
And guys, while we have a second, if we could get some of our moderators to drop Mr. Dieters and drop some of our links in chat real fast, we would appreciate that. What's up next for Dieter? I mean, what you got coming up, my friend?
I'm gonna do more. Do you ever watch any of the Yeti films that are on YouTube? They're very cinematic. They're good stories. I want to do some of that. There's some people out there that I think there's some really good stories, and they're probably going to be people you never heard of. I mean, we're not, but I think there's some of that stuff that I want to do. Again, I think there's be some interest in it. I also just want to do it because it's what the heck I want to do, and I think it will impact and touch people a lot more than a high shot count, going fishing, woohoo, look at the big fish I caught kind of thing. So I want to do some. I want to do more of that, and I don't know, maintain my sanity in 2024, and just try to hit a little better work-life balance. Probably it got insane in the middle part of the summer this year. So
What was taking up all your time? What was really chewing it up?
all of it. I mean, all of it. If I could show you my schedule, it was literally going from going and doing a live college football show that we do for 2 days. And then one night, I think I drove back from Virginia a couple of weeks ago and got back at like 1 o'clock in the morning, was at the boat ramp to do a guide trip that morning at 6. And then that afternoon went somewhere for some other production somewhere, came back and then spent 2 days in the studio shooting and filming and editing, because you got to get this stuff up and you got to have it on the shelf or ready to go. And then it was back off doing something. It's just like
How
kind of
long does it
continues.
take you to edit after you've shot a day of fishing? How long does it take you to edit? How many cameras are you pulling footage off of too? I'd like to know that.
3. Usually I string together 3 in the timeline, and the fishing videos, which are the ones I call them fishing, where I'm actually on the boat fishing, I've got a pretty good formula for those things, and there's kind of a limit on how much I think people watch. Usually they're in the 8 to 12 minute, time range.
So you like to keep them about 12 minutes long, and you have a formula of B-roll stuff, the action, but the storytelling as well. So
yeah, I've got to work on the storytelling, but the edit time on those things, 3-4 hours, something like that. Those are relatively easy. The hard ones are when you do something about, let's say, a world record fish, or how to, or I don't know, talking about a particular technique or a particular rig or something that happened somewhere, and you have to accumulate and get together and pull all the B-roll and all that kind of stuff. Those things can take a while to edit. And not to mention, you got to most of the stuff I do from the studio, I write scripts for. You can You can go back 3 years and look at the stuff that I sat in the studio and I winged it in front of the camera. And now it goes a lot quicker when I write a script for it and do it in the studio, but it's more concise. It's to the point. I have a lot less and all that crap. So
Chris, that's something we're still learning over here, brother.
dude, listen to my podcast. You will sit there, and when I get to babbling, it's a lot of I deal with people that do this, professionally. ESPN for NASCAR, and I talked to them, and they said, it's like, how do you quit doing that? I said, they all say you just got to be totally focused on it and take your time. Most people do it because you don't want somebody else to jump on top of what you're saying. And the key to it is to sit there and put those pauses in, make people wait for the next thing you're going to say because you're waiting for it. See? And that's how you do it as a professional. That's how the good speakers get up there and are able to do that. And it's an art. I mean, there's an art to that. So that is not where my artistic abilities lie. So
you got an idea of how long you want to keep your videos. Now, what happens on a day where you're just hammering a ton of good fish and all this? You got all this good footage. Do you try to make multiple videos out of that?
Absolutely.
Or
Absolutely. You
okay.
take a different shirt, you take a different hat, and a different colored pair of sunglasses. And, but honestly, I mean, people will watch. There are some people that if I put out a 30-minute video, there are some people that will sit there and watch every bit of it, or they let it play in the background. And that's cool. But those typically don't do really, really good on my channel. So
it's better to have like maybe 4 or 5 minutes of fish fight, a little bit of storytelling, 2 or 3 minutes of B-roll, and that just is a better video. It's just something
and
that's
honestly,
more viewable, more watchable.
The better you get with storytelling, the fewer fish you need in a video. I remember
I've noticed that. I've seen these channels, Dieter, that have 3 or 4 million, and I've never even heard of the kid. It's some kid that's fishing these ponds, but he tells the story of the morning. It shows an alarm clock. He wakes up, and then he's over there quickly tying. Then he eats some cereal, and it's like going fishing with this kid who's fishing in a pond. And he's got 5 million viewers. I'm like, never heard of the kid.
I mean, think of how many people that type of content appeals to. How many kids are out there doing that? Don't have a boat. They don't have any of that. That stuff appeals to them. They're sitting there watching, going, "Dude, that's me. That's me doing that. That's exactly what I do. I eat that same cereal he's eating." And there's a place for that, and that's where the good storytelling comes in and all of that. But I forget where I was going with that, but. Yeah.
That tends to happen.
Yeah.
Damn,
we'll take you down the rabbit hole, but
Hey, you still messing? Are you doing the NASCAR still? You still doing something?
Yeah, we still do stuff. That's one of the clients we have. Yeah, we're still doing stuff there in the NASCAR world for a lot of different. It's not so much NASCAR as it is corporate clients inside of NASCAR. Yeah, I think. The football stuff's gotten into the way and slowed it down. But I'll be in Talladega. We'll be in Phoenix. They asked about going to Kansas next week, but I can't do that one because of something I got going on. So, still doing that, and that's just more of the chaos of everything. Listen. It's fun to moan, bitch, and complain about it, but bottom line is I'm blessed to be doing what I do. So it's trust me. There's people that. I heard a preacher say one time, he said, don't look at what other people got. Don't wish, don't sit there and say, Lord, I just want to trade places, because he may give you that wish and you may not get to pick who you trade places with. And there's somebody out there that wants what you got. And it's
just
very
do
true.
you. I think if you just do you, you won't, you'll be a lot happier. My buddy Dan says, Dieter, would you be doing this YouTube thing if you didn't have your experience with ESPN?
That's a good question. Here's what it did give me. Okay. It gave me this cocky arrogance that I thought, I know what I'm doing with TV. I can just jump in here and just blow up YouTube. Yeah. Good Lord humbled me on that one. It don't work that way. That's a good question. Maybe. I mean, it's because it's so, what I do at the YouTube level is so far detached from what we do in that world. You know, I don't know. That's a good question. If I totally had never done that, I don't know. I don't know. There'd be a whole lot of stuff in my life up to that point that may or may not have happened. And who knows, I may have not even on the boat at this point. So it's where it's at. I'm on the path I'm on, and it's fun. I still enjoy doing it. And sadly, I've seen a lot of people that were, when I was starting, I remember the first catfish conference I went to, and I remember some of the YouTube creators that were there. And I want to say Chris Flores may be the only one that is still doing YouTube at this point. So it's the attrition rate is very high because it's hard to get traction and get what you need to keep you in the game.
Do you think that's because people's reason why they're doing it? Maybe it's hard to attain. They think, oh, I'm going to be a YouTube star, or rather than doing it because it's fun, or I mean,
yeah, it's a
and
lot of
it's
different of those things
hard
that come
too.
in. Oh, it's there's more to it than people realize, and it's yeah, people that get into it just, if you're a kid, you just see Mr. Beast or whoever running around that's doing this, and which Mr. Beast does stuff at a totally he's not even a fair one to compare stuff to because he is so perfect in what he does. But some of these other ones, they got a big expensive car, they got a big expensive house, they get to be little assholes and get away with it. And people are like, I won't do that until they really sit down and they start doing it, and you don't realize what all is involved. There's a lot of stuff in that content, and those videos, and that world it doesn't happen by accident. This is what I tell people. You may get lucky and get a video that blows up, but you will not build a successful channel by accident. It is very planned, very orchestrated, and it takes a lot of work for it to make it happen.
I can tell you, man, it does take a lot of work because, I mean, we've been in this, I believe, now going on 2 years, and I've just now, I believe we've been at 560 for like 2 years now. So, I mean, it's a lot of work, and you got to constantly keep going. I mean, we're like 102 videos, but it's a lot of work, that's for sure.
Yeah. I love the Facebook comment. Don't smell my fingers. It's so funny. And I know what this all goes back to, the when I pulled the mussel shells out of the catfish's butt. And it is amazing how many people that touched. I think part of it is sexual fantasy, which I'm really weirded out by that part. But there were people that were grossed out by it. And it's funny how much traction I got off something that I thought was kind of a benign, no big deal. Everybody knew that. And a lot of people don't realize it. They don't realize that big gob of intestines sticking out of the vent. It's called a vent, by the way, for all you people out there. It has to do with the way they expel those shells out, when they eat them. So, yeah, it's crazy. But, yeah, please don't smell my fingers. I think anybody that walks up to me trying to smell my fingers gets put into the weirdo category. So yeah, let's stay away from that.
I don't even know how to lead up after that one. might have to let you follow that one up, Chris.
All right. So Dieter, how do you decide on what your next video is going to be about? I know some of them is just fishing, but do a lot of how-to stuff and helpful stuff for guys. What inspires you? Where do you get your ideas to do your next
I've got lists of stuff here, video ideas, stuff that works, stuff that doesn't work. There's that. What's going to happen in the upcoming year is going to be that, as crazy as this sounds, I am going to come up with the thumbnail and the title before I make a video. I am going to create thumbnails and titles that work and build a video around it.
Okay. So
I
I
know that
know
sounds
some guys have said do that. Come up with a kind of a framework for the video before you even hit the water.
oh,
Uh,
absolutely, absolutely.
and have
And
an
you look at
idea
the
of what you want to do so that while you're out there, you can think, oh, this would work good with my idea,
yeah,
rather than just go out there and fish, video all this crap, and then try to slap together a video at
yeah.
2 days
I've got
later.
hundreds. I've got hundreds of videos of doing what you just said. I'm going to go fish and sling some crap together and hope there's a story here. Sometimes it works. Most of the time it sucks. And it's why people like Mr. Beast are as good as they are at what they do. I know he's not in the fishing world, but more and more people in the fishing world is that they basically reverse engineer it. If you got a thumbnail that you can create, let's go, oh my God, somebody's going to click on that. Or at least it's going to stop them. And that's what most people miss in the YouTube world is that you got to stop that person to click on that video. And you can call it clickbait. You can call it whatever you want to. There's good clickbait. There's bad clickbait. Bad clickbait is you don't deliver on what you promise. Good clickbait is you stop. You got somebody to click. You got somebody to watch. You got to stop them first because, I mean, my God, let's just go to YouTube and let's just scroll down through here at all the, stuff that is being served up to us and suggested. There's, something's got to
Yeah.
stop you. And then you're going to look and, you got a millisecond to go, oh, this is about the world record catfish that was caught last night over on the James River. It's like, I'm going to watch that. So you have to reverse engineer it. So that's some of the stuff that I'm going to be trying to do moving forward, just to create stuff that has an appeal to people. But let's just.
So whatever if there's a hot thing going, you try to maybe strike on that while it's hot. Like the Oliver Anthony, you're like, this guy catfishes.
Yep. Somebody, I think it was Keith from Fishing and Stuff. We were talking on the phone. He said, I think he has some kind of fishing T-shirt on. So
yeah,
I'm
that's
like, really?
Operation Vets with Nets. That's
and I
group.
I started, I couldn't tell in the one popular shot, and I started looking. I was like, holy crap, that's a logo. And I said, I know I've seen that logo. And I was like and I needed to see a bigger shot of it. And finally, somebody had a cell phone shot when he turned around on stage. And I was like, holy crap, I know who that is now. So, that is called trending. Anytime you can create some type of content around something that is trending. One of my biggest videos.
There's a lot of people searching that.
Yeah,
and when they go search that, your video pops up.
It's cross-pollination. And one of my biggest ones this year was sadly that guy who got killed in that fishing tournament. I think it was in Ohio. And that was trending on major news outlets everywhere. And anytime you get something that is making the news, the broadcast news, and it's on the internet, Google owns YouTube. Google's the biggest search engine out there. All that stuff cross-pollinates. You will get traction off of that. It will disseminate that stuff.
What tags? What about tags?
They say tags don't mean as much. It used to be important.
You say that, do you still do a lot of tagging of?
Yes, I still
tag. A lot of things that you might think are going to be something that might draw people to that specific video, or do you have a broad base of tags that you use for all of them and then add a few other ones?
That's the worst thing in the world to do, is have generic tags that you put in there, because they say the algorithm picks up on it, that you're just bundling tags and it has no relevance to what's going on in the video. The artificial intelligence with YouTube is so smart now. And it's part of the reason the tags aren't as important, because they figured out that people were able to game the system by putting tags and catchphrases in there that would segregate this stuff in a direction. And now the artificial intelligence is not only looking at the tags and the descriptions, but it's actually interpreting what is being said in the video. So all of that goes into figuring out who may watch this kind of stuff. So I do it. I do think there's a direct correlation between what tags I have when they rank high and the success of the video. I do think there is something there from what I've seen.
How many tags do you add, do you think, on average?
I think you can have 500 characters, I think, is what the limit is.
You fill it up?
Absolutely. I will max it out. It's
You
almost like a
max it
little
out.
game to figure out to try to get it to like 500 characters. So
And you do that
uh,
every video.
every video, and most of it, there's a correlation between what you put in the description. I did experiment last week with having an artificial intelligence program write the description and create the tags.
And what
And
did that help?
one of them did really, really good. A couple of the other ones were there wasn't nothing remarkable about it. So,
And out of those, one of those probably would have done pretty good anyway for
and
you.
they have, and it's hard to tell. The artificial intelligence stuff is interesting. It's not always 100% accurate.
How often do you have one of your videos where you're like, "Holy crap! I can't believe that one did that," and you thought the other one would have been great?
Oh, I wish it would happen more often. I'll be honest with you. Now I kind of know when one's going to do good. And, some people say, well, you shouldn't put them out if you don't think they're going to do good. There's some stuff I put out that has a long tail content. It's stuff that, not tying video, a video about a fishing reel, about a fishing line. That stuff is not going viral right off the bat. But over a course of time, it may do good. It's like some of the saltwater stuff ends up doing okay in time. It's just initially YouTube kind of, I guess for lack of a better phrase, doesn't know exactly what to do with it. It's like, oh, well, we showed it to his regular viewers and they were like, eh. And, over the course of time, depending on what it is, what the content is, somebody may pick up on it and they go, oh, this needs to go to this group of people. And some of it is timely. It has to do with what's going on. I've got one, it's a stupid video. And I say stupid. It's boring as crap. It's my son Grayson spraying a wasp nest where we deer hunt. And I don't know, for whatever reason, some people got stung to death in England the summer after it happened. And the video blew up 8 months later. And that was like my first one that kind of went viral. And so, yeah, sometimes you don't know, but I kind of know with the content I put out now where it's going. And mine is not always too totally about the channel. Part of it is about the guide business, that whole deal. Part of it is about dealing with brands and people in the industry, which is a whole nother segment and podcast within itself. So it gets complicated when you really start breaking it down and analyzing everything you do, and everybody's different too in that world.
Well, I tell you, I'm throwing my notes out because they're not working. I just took a lot of notes, so maybe I can maybe we can turn our things off. So there goes my notes.
Yeah, but it's different for everybody and what their content is and what they're trying. I will say this. Live streams generally don't do good by themselves. Look at Catfish Weekly. Catfish Weekly has been around forever. I watch it. I love watching it, but it's hard to get it disseminated and spread out there really well. I think they're 5,000, 10,000 subscribers, and they've been at it forever. It's hard to get live stream stuff to do really good. Now, with that said, live stream content is a tool that you can use in other ways as far as generating revenue, getting information out there. So it's and actually YouTube likes it. They like the live content. But again, that's just another thing.
I've used the live stream to get me all my sponsors, showing
Sure.
how
Absolutely
just how we do it.
Absolutely. If you
showing that you're really a high level type of angler sets you a little bit apart from some of the other guys and and I fish with my son Dieter, so I think a big part of that they like oh, I want to support this guy because he's got this 7-year-old out here just doing it consistently. So
and I
gotta say that live stream has helped me just support wise, maybe not popularity or anything, but
it depends on how
it got Jamie. That's how I got on with Carolina Lake Weights.
Yeah. And I told the guys, I talked to a bunch of brands that I cast, and So I told him, it's like, yeah, you can get in a viral video on the channel or a video that does really good, but it's almost like in a lot of cases, you're better off in a video on my channel that 2,000 people are watching, that are, total followers and watch everything that's put out there and buy half the stuff I use, than you are to disseminate it to 100,000 people where, you don't know who's going to be actually interested in it. So yeah, it gets really complicated in that world, but you can't beat yourself up and going, I only got this many subscribers, because subscribers mean nothing. In all honesty, it's more about the views.
It's
and
also about the people that are actually following you and supporting you. Especially if you're trying to push a product like a Carolina Lake Weight, or, for me, Mad Cats, for you, Hellcat. You could have 60,000 subscribers, but how many of those people are just doing what you want them, what you're doing, just because they're like, Dieter's got these Hellcats, I'm gonna buy Hellcat.
It's about those devout followers that you have.
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of guys have a certain amount of followers, but they just don't move the needle. People don't care what they say. They're like, okay, I like watching him, but he's not really doing much like fishing wise, but
they got to have some faith in you and believe in you, and you got to be, there has to be you got to be real with them too. So yeah, it's when you get to that level, it gets complicated. I mean, there's a whole lot of like variables and moving parts, and it's
a slippery slope.
Well, sometimes if you're too real with people, I think it scares them too. So sometimes you got to be a little.
Well, I mean, you have to use some discretion sometimes. You
can offend people. I think big part of your popularity is how not to offend. You don't polarize.
People love to say, "Oh, he says what he thinks." Okay, well, if I'm standing in line at a grocery store and there's a big, giant, fat woman in front of me, I'm not going to tap her on the shoulder and go, "Hey, you're really big, giant, fat lady." I'm honest. It may be true. It may be what I'm thinking, but smart people learn to keep their mouth shut sometimes and actually have a little bit of discretion and a little civility and actually a little bit of kindness too, because that does go somewhere in life. So yeah, it's saying what you think isn't always the best thing. Don't lie about what you feel about something, but also just, you can keep your mouth shut sometimes.
So how do you deal with the haters? Because I know you got them. We all.
Here's what happens.
Part of it.
When I go looking through like my comments and like Facebook comments, and I don't have any, I try to go create some kind of content that will stir somebody up and get them going, because it's like I'm losing traction with. If I don't have some haters, I'm not reaching anybody. So
a lot of guys will say that. If you don't have some haters, then you ain't popping. So
listen, when that first video with Grayson spraying the wasp nest was the first one that really blew out of the catfish community and the fishing world. And dude, I like I said earlier, once you get outside of your family and friends network, you've done something. I had people that were, you looked at the comments were on the channel at that time. It's like, your son's a fag. I hope he dies and gets stung to death.
But doesn't that piss you? That had to just piss you off the first time all that happened.
It does, but it's almost
because
like
it's your son. I can deal with it when it's me, but I have a son too that is a big part of what we do.
But it shows you, it was more of a like, reality check on just the people that are out there, on how like sad the lives have got to be of some of these people that, for whatever reason, think that's like cool and okay to say, because you've really got to have some unhappiness and hate in your heart to do something like that. And
some of my most hated stuff is like when my son's catching a record and he's sitting on the fish. But what I did was, it took me 2 minutes to pose him, but I get all these comments of, get the kid off the effing fish. Yeah. I'm like, it took me 2 minutes to pose him. I've never heard a fish in 30
Yeah.
some odd years of catfishing.
Yeah.
I really am one of the guys that takes care of these fish more than most.
Yeah.
I
It's
went way
just-
out of my way, but this is what you choose to.
What? Here's the thing now. It's hard to get any of that on my comment section because I went through the whole deal with the comments where YouTube shut down comments on a bunch of channels, hundreds of thousands of them. One of them was Luke Nichols from Catfish and Carp, biggest catfishing channel out there. They shut his comments off because there was something with the Child Protection Act, something of the internet. And my son had been in videos and his kids are in his videos, and they just did this across the board thing that the artificial intelligence picked up on. It took about a year until they finally figured out where the problems were, and where the real problems were with the comments on the channels. But anyway, the comments come back on. So when they came back on, I went through and there's a bunch of words that you can't get into my comment section now, and spent a lot of time with those words. So it's hard to get anything in there as far as just being a total jerk about it. So,
I think a certain amount of people just don't like kids, and some of my nicest friends, they're like, anybody that would say anything about a kid catching a good fish is just a miserable.
Yep.
Like,
And again, that's just the state of. I mean, that's just humanity. I mean, there's people like that. Now, you can't focus on that. Is the bottom line. Yeah, it can piss you off and everything else, but you got to
when it
focus
first
on.
happens, though, it's like, whoa, it's shocking. But you start to realize, okay, if you do the research, there's a certain amount of people that are just that way. You're just going to have to deal with it. I look at it as like all the positive people like I've met, like Jamie, like yourself, all the friends that I've made. It's a very small percentage that actually, bring that negativity towards you.
Yeah,
so
and it's just
deal with it.
Yeah, and honestly, if you get to know any of the people or actually talk to any of the people, it's amazing. There's been a few I've engaged with outside of the comment section, and it's amazing how much they want attention. They want somebody to talk to. They just want somebody that, they're usually not just really great people. They're looking for some type of attention and, somebody to talk to. They may be lonely. Who knows what the deal is. May have had some bad stuff happen and you look like the person that did it to them. And, you just have to move on and you have to focus on the stuff you got control over. And that's the biggest thing across the board in life, period, outside of YouTube. There's stuff you got control over.
I think social media tends to, it makes people envious because they feel like this guy's showing all, like this Dieter, he's always out helping people. How dare he? Help all these damn people.
He's out to get something. He's ripping them off. He's got a Ponzi scheme going on.
Yeah. It's like they got to somehow justify in their head why they're miserable. Screw this guy for helping all these people.
I'm tired of seeing him smile all the time. He can't be that happy. He's got to be faking.
Hey, I've had guys that say, I am sick of hearing how great you are. I'm like, who told you I was great? That's one of the weirdest comments I've ever heard. You're sick of hearing like nobody ever told you I was great. What do you talk like? I just a regular fisherman that helps people. Like
there's an old saying: we hate in others what we want most in ourselves. And there's a lot of people like that. You look at somebody that's happy and things are going good, they're enjoying their life, and you're going to find a reason to hate them because you'd really love to have that in your life, and it is what it is, man. I just stay in my lane and focus on what I think
that's the way to be. Focus on the positive. Sometimes you got to just block out the negative, because a negative type of person, a cloud follows them around. It's just like everything. It's just woe is me, F you, through all this.
And it transcends their social media world and everything they're doing there. There's other parts of their life that are going to be equally miserable. And a lot of times, all it takes is a change in their mental direction and attitude, and they can be happy and be in a good direction. It's just a lot of them get mired
Yeah,
in that.
I've definitely flipped some of those people. A lot of them pretty recently.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but a lot of them, I'm like, you gonna have to go do that somewhere else. So
Yep. Yep.
I tell you, my friend, you know, it's a great, you know, here at Carolina Lake Weights, man, we love to have fun. We love to support our kids. And speaking of our youth,
Speaking of kids, come over here. Come here. What are you?
There you go.
You come to say hey. Yeah, she had to come say hey.
Barbie wanted to show my dad her new haircut.
all
Did you
right,
cut Barbie's
got
hair?
a new haircut.
Yeah, it was cute though.
Don't let mommy see. That's over there. There you go. There you go. Don't let
Looking
mommy
good.
do not cut your hair. I'm gonna send mommy a text
Dieter.
message. Go back in there. Love you.
My son will come in there and he will have got my clippers and shave a reverse mohawk. I'm like, what are you doing?
This is the modern world we live in. I'm sending the wife a message going. She's got scissors.
But yeah, we got some exciting things coming up for our youth, our junior anglers. Chris, we've talked about and stuff. We got some exciting things. We're going to improve that area. We're going to give them some recognition that they deserve. You know, we're going to be
A
pushing
recognition.
That's a
Hey,
good
This
multi-syllable
show's
word.
coming up with new
Hey.
words. Put that one in the dictionary. Put that one in the encyclopedia.
That's it. So we got some excellent things coming up, man. So we got some new products.
I agree. So Dieter, here's an idea we came up with. We're gonna try to rename some of our hooks after some of our youth anglers, just to give them a little spotlight. I think some of the kids we got are some of the best anglers in the country, not just because my son's one of them, but we got JT Catfish Kid, we got Hunter Wyatt, we got my son Action Jackson, we got another boy we're trying to get on, and we don't really get much out of it. Like, it's not like they push a lot of products or anything, but we just like helping the kids. And I think it's important. There's not enough dads to take their kids fishing these days.
Yeah.
So, you know, when we were kids, we all met up at the lake. I was 7, I was just turning 8 when I started going and fishing by myself. You can't do that now, but I think it's important for dads to get out there and take their kids fishing.
Yeah, it's funny. I've had some guy trips. It's kind of sad. I've had some kids that watch the channel and they wanted to go on a guy trip, and their dads have brought them. And it's funny, several of the dads are not into like fishing. They were more into. I mean, I remember one dude showed up, and hopefully he's not watching, but yeah, he looked like he was ready to get it for his next tee time, you know, for the play golf. And it's it's you know, I'm lucky, I'm blessed that, you know, I grew up in that world, and my kids basically, they know the rule. If they come up and they go, "Hey, I want to go fishing today," it's kind of like, "All right, I'll cut grass tomorrow. We'll go fishing." So, but not everybody gets that, and
that's it.
It'd be a lot better world if they did.
That's it, and that's what we're about, Peter. And that's what we're going to do is we're going to give back to our youth angler program, and that's just one of the ways. And just like our, you know, kid of the week, it's just a way to give back. And, you know, give them the spotlight. And that's what Carolina Lake Weights is all about. And, you know, we welcome you to our team, my friend.
Thank you.
Appreciate you
it, man.
for being here. And, you know, for everything that, you know, that you've done for the catfishing world. I know it's a great thing, man.
Well, I appreciate it, man. To those that are giving great things are expected.
So. That's it.
You know, Dieter, one thing about our team is I like our guys to all be helpful towards others. I like them to lift each other up. I think it's important rather than just worry about yourself, you know, and trying to promote yourself. I think it's important to lift those up that are around you. I know you're one of those types of guys, so you're going to be a perfect fit for what we do over at Carolina Lake Weights. We're excited to have you.
Well, thank you.
I enjoy being around those types of people much more than a guy who's it's just, I'm the greatest in the world, you know, even though you're super,
that has the list of 97 pro staff. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
you know, you're a super popular guy, but you're very humble. You know, I know you got a bunch of sponsors. So Jamie's got some sponsors. I got a bunch of sponsors, but it's just, I think it's cool to have a guy like you who's willing to help others. Jamie's the same type of guy. He's willing to help anybody, any angler, the kids. I'm the same way. I lift up all our guys on the team. I promote them way more than I promote myself. I think that's important.
Yeah.
We're honored to have you, buddy. So
Thank you, man.
appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it.
Yep. But
Jamie, anything else you want to mention before we wrap this thing up?
man, I'd just like to say thank you to all of our wonderful customers, all of the people out in chat. We couldn't do this without y'all. Rebecca, for everything that she does behind the scenes, you know, love her to death. I mean, making these drifting weights, doing all the hats, doing everything that she does day in, day out, you know, making this company what it is. We love each and every one of y'all guys, man, and we appreciate y'all. Can't wait to see where it goes.
We really appreciate everybody who spends the time to come in here and watch. We're going to keep pushing our guys, our partners. We're going to keep trying to help you guys. We're going to keep trying to get awesome guests like Dieter to come on and who are willing to share what a lot of guys are not willing to share. Even though it's a more open type deal, still a lot of guys not willing to share their personal experiences and stuff. So I'm honored to have guys like Dieter, but I'm also proud of where the show is going. The level of anglers are all varieties of types of guys we're able to get on here. So appreciate everybody who's been riding with us so far, and it's growing and taking off. So I know we got about as many Facebookers as we do YouTubers, but
that's pretty cool.
Yes,
we'll keep trying to build on that, and me and Jamie just figuring this stuff out. Dieter's been doing it for 10 years, so
and I still ain't figured it out. I've got new notes now. So that's it for me, Chris.
All right, guys. I see you got connectivity issues with that storm, but for Dieter Melhorn, for Carolina Lake Weights, my slime brother Jamie, Gato, Azul, tight lines. God bless.
Y'all have a good one.
Out.
See ya.